So if you've played Minecraft before, you'll know that it can be quite difficult, it can be quite a graft. In fact, sometimes you should call it Minegraft. Well, today we're going to look at taking as much of that grafting out of Minecraft as possible and trying to automate everything we can. We're taking a look at advanced machines. So if you're anything like me, sometimes you'll find that the boring, mundane stuff in Minecraft, like farming and sorting your chests out, it just becomes too much. So we're taking a look at this server plugin today called Advanced Machines, which I have only been using for a couple days and I absolutely love it. We're going to take a look at what it is, what it can do for you, and how it can automate your world. First thing to say is that everything within Advanced Machines is powered by a machine block, so anything that you're going to build is going to be crafted from a machine block, so that's the first thing you need to craft. The default crafting recipe is an iron ingot in the center, you got stone around the outside and then redstone around the corners. Make sure it's cooked stone and not cobblestone because that's not going to work. When you craft a machine block, it looks like a player head. But you'll see it's got a different name, it's got the name of machine block. If you try and place that down somewhere, that's not going to work. You just get this weird, terrifyingly strange face that appears for a split second. It doesn't place down like a player head does. So just be aware that if you have got player heads and machine blocks in your inventory, make sure you've got the correct one. Mouse over it first. So when you've created a machine block, what can you do with it? Well, the first thing we're going to take a look at today on this episode of how it's made is item ducts. Now, an item duct is a very cool way to transfer items between chests. It starts with a machine block in the center, some smooth stone slabs to the outside, and then ender pearls top and bottom. Now this is a default recipe. The plugin is infinitely configurable. You can choose the recipes for what each item is. So it means that you can balance it across your server's economy or whatever else. It's really cool like that. So I'm gonna get one of the item ducts out of the chest. I'm not going to bother crafting it because you know what crafting looks like. We're going to take a look in this chest and see it's empty. We've got diorite, granite and stone over here. I want to move them into this chest. Now that was boring, wasn't it? I wanted to sort the chest. I wanted to get things out of this one and put them in this one, so I had to do it manually. Not anymore. What you can do is you can take an item duct, shift and right click the item duct onto a chest, and you'll see now you've got these green particles firing out from this chest into this chest over here. If we take a look in the chest, we'll see nothing has moved because we need to go into the configuration for the item duct and tell it that it's allowed to transfer items. So with an empty hand, make sure you've got nothing in your hand at all, shift and right click onto the item duct and you get this graphical user interface. Really simple to understand. You can increase the range of the item transmission. You can set the duct into push or pull mode. So in this instance here, it's going to push items out of the duct into the next available chest along. Running it this way would pull the items from the next available chest into this chest here. You can edit filters, so you can actually set items that you want to whitelist or blacklist to be sent from chests or pulled or pushed or whatever else like that. If I now shift and right click, you can also increase the transfer rate. Now it does say, I know it says here, increase range and decrease range. This is an alpha plugin, so it's not long in development and the developer is still fixing a couple bugs and doing things. So if I hit the increase range, which will probably be renamed increase rate or decrease rate, you'll see that my transfer rate is currently 32. I can increase it, and now the transfer rate is 64. So it'll take an entire stack of 64 items and transfer them in one go. So let's take a look at the chest. We've still got all of our items here. Nothing is happening. They're not moving over there. At this stage, it's still boring. I've still got to go and click these items and move them manually. I'm not doing that. I'm going to click into the item duct, go into the filter and turn this into a blacklist filter. So I've got no items within this filter. So this means in whitelist mode at the moment, only items within this filter are going to be transferred. If I switch it to blacklist, items except for things in this panel are going to be transferred. So what do you think that's done now? That's taken all of our items. It should have taken all of our items, but it hasn't because I need to go in here and do push mode. So now it's going to start pushing them items across. You'll see in full stacks of 64 going into this chest over here. If I decide I want them the other way, I could put them in here and put them back in the chest, or I can shift right click, turn it to pull mode, and all of a sudden the items are disappearing out of this chest and appearing in this one. So that's awesome. Item ducts are just brilliant. They're very configurable, really easy to use. In fact, let's take a look at this little setup we've got going on over here. We've got an empty chest here, an empty chest just there. We've got some oak planks over here, and we've got some granite in here as well. So let's take the oak and granite, and we'll throw some stone in the mix as well, why not? So I'm going to set up some item ducts on this center chest. So I'm going to shift and right click and add one there, shift right click and add one over here, empty hand, shift right click on the item duct to configure it. Now you'll see I can increase and decrease the range. If I decrease the range down to 1, you'll see there's no green particle firing out of the item duct. Increase it to 2, you'll see now that the particle is firing into this chest on the right hand side because our block range is 2, so you got 1, 2, and then there's the chest, so it can communicate with it. Or actually it's going to be 1 and 2. It's going to be from the end of the item duct block. So this is 0, 1, 2. So that's how we determine our range. So you can just have it set up to 10 if you wish. It's just going to connect to the nearest available chest. So let's go into here and we're going to change our item filter. In fact, we're going to take some items out of here for now. And we're going to right click, change our item filter, and we're going to put granite in here. And on this side, we're going to shift and right click, go into our item filter, and we're going to set oak planks in there. And we've set these up for whitelist. So this means only items in this list will be transferred through this item duct. So we're going to leave it on whitelist. We're going to put planks, we're going to put, planks in this side, and we're going to put granite over in this side. So now we've got nothing in the chest there. If I go and fire them in, you'll see that it's going to go through and transfer the granite and the planks, but the stone is going to remain. The stone is not going anywhere because we've not set up stone to be allowed to pass through either of these filters. If I go into these chests, you can see there's my oak planks, and here's my polished granite. I'm going to take that stone out as well. So now we're going to throw an item duct onto the back of this chest just here, and you can see it's firing at this chest, so this chest can communicate with this one. We're going to right click with an empty hand, edit the filter, and we're going to say we only want to transfer. We're going to whitelist it. In fact, no, let's blacklist it. We'll say blacklist, we don't want any stone being transferred. So that means the stone should stay in here, and any other item not on that blacklist will go into this chest and be sorted. So let's have a look here. I'm going to throw stone and granite and oak planks in, and you can see instantly the stacks start moving apart from the stone. The stone isn't going anywhere, and this chest has got nothing in it because all of our items have already been sorted into these chests here. How incredible is that? So what this means is you can create really complex sorting systems. Let's take a visit to my crap shack. I've created a ship box where you can feel free to like dump all your stuff in here. What I've decided I want to do is move all of my ores. I want to move them from this chest into here and make sure that everything gets put away safely. So I'm going to click this and move it over here. Or no, wait, I'm not going to do that. That's boring. That's another thing that I've got to do manually. I don't want to do that. I'm not about that life. So we're going to create something here called an item gatherer. Now, I'm not going to show the recipes for everything. Like I say, they are infinitely configurable. But let's say I've just crafted an item gatherer. I'm going to shift and right click it onto this chest over here. If I shift and right click, I've got configuration here where I can increase and decrease the range. I can turn on the area display, enable and disable particles. So I've just turned on an area display, and you'll notice just through the window over here you've got green particles just firing over there. You've got green particles here as well. If I now go in here and decrease the range, you'll see the green particles have moved to sort of this sort of area now. They're in a lot closer. So this is you specifying how far you want the item gatherer to work. So I've set it to its maximum, which is 4 blocks. So now, I don't want to move them things manually. I'm just going to go kapow. And they've all gone. Where have they gone? They've gone in here. This item gatherer has sucked them all up, picked them up from this area, and has now dumped them straight into the ship box, which fires out items through this item duct into the back end of the ship box. And you'll see in here I've got items going in, and they're disappearing. Where are they going? Well, some are going up here through this item duct, some of them are firing up into here, some of them are firing out this way into this one, and they basically will just split between all these item ducts, which I just think is brilliant. Again, you can set your filters on here, which means once you filter through all the different item ducts that you add in, you can have everything sorted absolutely perfectly into all of your chests. So you can keep all your building materials together, all your precious minerals. Basically, you can sort it out however you want. And I know it looks like I've got a lot of stuff in here, but it's not. It's a lie. Every chest is empty. Right, moving on. We're going to take a look at auto farming, because farming is one of those things that is really, really tedious. I don't like sitting, waiting, watching to make sure that the crops are just perfectly ready. Is that done? No, it's not. I've just destroyed it. I don't know. Is this ready now? Is this one ready? No, it's not. I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to sit there figuring out whether to harvest these things. So that's where auto farming comes in. You'll see, is there anything ready? No, there's not. So let's go and take a look at auto farming. What is it? It's a simple, easy, hands-free farming solution, because real farming takes way too long, too much energy, and it's just a bit shit. So let's go and see what auto farming does. So you can see we've just got this nicely prepared area just over here. I'm going to take out my auto farmer. I'm going to take out some seeds. I'm going to take out a hoe as well. I'm going to throw an item gatherer and an item duct just out of my hotbar so it's not getting in the way. So I'm going to place down an auto farmer, and you'll see it's got this little name above it, auto farmer. And if I empty hand shift right click, we get into the interface for the farmer as well. I'm going to turn on area display, which is really good because it allows you to see with these particles the area that the auto farmer can access. So if I leave them particles on, shift and right click, and as I decrease the range, you'll see the particles will start to move inwards just to cover a small area. So it means you can have multiple farms next to each other of differing sizes. If you wanted, like, let's say a wheat farm or a carrot farm, or you can split them up into separate areas. So we'll turn the area display off for now. You'll see we've got two items over on the right hand side. We've got our hoe inventory and the seed inventory as well. If we click into hoe inventory, we can add a hoe in here. It doesn't have to be diamond, it can be anything. If I shift right click again into the seed inventory, I'll just throw some seeds in. Now you'll notice the progress bar is filling up. The second the auto farmer fills the progress bar and it knows it can do something, it's going to do just that. So as you can see, we've now gone and it's automatically placed all of our wheat seeds. If any of them were to grow, when this auto farmer hits full, it will go and harvest them all. So let's make that happen. Let's get some bone meal. We'll take that there. We'll wait for the progress bar. There we go. So progress bar's turned off now, or it's counting up. So we can go and grow some of these crops. We'll do them at various levels. There we go. The auto farmer comes along and just destroys them. It just hoes them up as it can. And you'll notice that the items are just kind of floating around on the ground. They're not picked up, which means I'd still have to come over here and I'd still have to run through and go and pick everything up. Although I don't have to plant them and harvest them, I'd still need to stand nearby, and I don't want to do that. So, given what we know about item gatherers and item ducts, is there any way we can automate that just a little bit further? Well, yes there is. If you take a look at my big farm over here, you'll notice in the centre of the farm, we've got an item gatherer, we've got a chest, and we've got a couple of item ducts around the place. So if I go and take a look at this chest, say, in there we've got seeds. If I take a look at this duct, we're pushing items out to a range of up to 10. We've got wheat in that filter. I imagine you can guess what's in that chest over there. I nearly trampled my crops. And if you take a look in this item duct, you see in the filter, we've got seeds, and you can kind of see where that's pointing. So what do you think it's doing then? When the auto farmer decides it's time to farm things up, let me just grow these crops here. There we go. You'll see the auto farmer will go and harvest these. There we go. The items will start to disappear. They're being picked up by this gatherer. The wheat is being passed out into this chest just over here. And the seeds are going back into the auto farmer. So they're all in here at the moment. But if I shift and right click, you'll see they're all in here too. So that's the seed inventory. They're being passed into the auto farmer. So that it means that all the wheat is picked up. All the seeds are picked up and automatically replenished. All is well. I don't need to farm. I just need to worry about making bread. I've just trampled crops. It doesn't matter. Now there's just one or two more items that I'm going to show you through. We've got this, which I think is dead cool. It's a machine that fires pointy boys. I'm guessing you can tell now based on what's in the chest. I'm just going to put these away. Guessing you can tell what they are. So let's place a couple of these down. We've got all these arrow turrets now. So if I shift and right click into an arrow turret, I've got a filter again. I've got ranges I can increase. In my filter, I can choose whether I'm on a white list or a black list, and I can choose the mobs that I want to attack. I've got multiple pages of mobs that you can page through. So now everything's red, it's on blacklist, it's going to attack literally everything. It's going to be a veritable death machine. We'll just do the 2 turrets for now. I'm going to throw, if I shift and right click and go into my arrow inventory, I'm going to throw some arrows in there, do the same over here, and now we're going to spawn a Spiddy. And the turrets will take a look at it, and we'll start just shooting arrows at it. There you go. It's really upsetting the spider. They're a little bit slow, but if you have a couple of them, you can imagine it could be quite cool to have them sort of along your house. Let's say this was a finished house, and we're going to just place some arrow turrets just all over the front, so any mobs turn up, these things just get involved and just start shooting arrows all over the place, raining down arrows on anything that comes near your base. This is a machine that farts air, or reverse farts air. That's a really weird way to describe it, but it's a push-pull duct. I'm just going to destroy these arrow turrets really quickly. If I place this down, let's do this way like this, you'll notice it farts air out at me and I get pushed backwards. Cool. So I'm going to place one on this side actually. I've not done this yet. Yeah, I'm just getting pushed left, right and centre. It's brilliant. Oh, I wonder what happens if... Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, we're going to have some fun now. Yeah, I'm now just kind of spazzing out in the middle of the map. Cool. So we've got a push duct, which is cool because it can push me backwards. Also, you can edit this by shift right click, and you can choose whether it targets mobs or items, what the range is, if it pushes or pulls you in. So I've got this in pull mode right now. If I drop an item, you notice it pulls it in. And if I right click, shift and right click that again and say push, push there, it's now going to fire that item outwards. Which I think, I don't know a use for it just yet. I think it's cool, but I just haven't figured out a use for it yet. Apart from doing this, which I think is quite cool. I'm just going to take some granite. I mean, clearly people more inventive than I will be able to figure out a use for it. I'm just trying to, this is all I'm trying to do. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to place, wait for the right timing. There we go. Okay. So hopefully, if I've timed this right, phew, yeah, there we go. That kind of worked. Upwards, outwards. Yeah, awesome. You get the idea. And finally, we're going to do a machine that does digs in the horizontal fashion, otherwise makes tunnels. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place this down here. Let's place it facing... Tell you what, let's place it down here so I don't have to place any blocks. We'll do this here, and you'll see this is a tunneler. It's going to do damage to blocks. There we go. And it destroys it. If I now go and get a pick, let's say a diamond pick, and shift and right click with an empty hand, go into the tool inventory and add a pick, it's now going to go and do destroys on there again. If I add a shovel, however, and drop that in there, you'll see this will begin to work a lot quicker. Like a pick takes longer. Obviously, it's using the right tool for the job. You can see there it's going to go through and just dig them out happily now with its iron shovel. So again, I've not come up with a use for this yet, but I've only been playing with this for a day or so. I'm not very inventive. I've said before, I'm quite lazy. You can also increase the range on these, by the way, so it'll dig a lot further. I'm going to turn that down so it doesn't destroy this, just in case I need to record this video for the 6th time. Right, so the plugin itself is infinitely configurable. If you do /am in your console, you'll see all the items you got here. Track to track performance of machines. You can get all the machine types. There are many machines that I haven't sort of looked at here. We've got block breakers, placers, cobble generators, computers, and you've got item gatherers, machine blocks, tunnelers. We've looked at some of them, but not all of them. The other thing you've got is recipes, so you can view the recipes for any of the items. So an auto farmer, for example, that is the recipe for it there: diamond hoe, smooth stone slabs, machine blocks, redstone dust. And what you can also do is you can edit the recipes with a graphical user interface. So we're going to do recipes, edit and like that. I'm going to do auto farmer, and now as the admin I can edit the recipe for this, so I can set it to be completely different, just like this. It's amazing. All this can be configured within your config files as well, and within Advanced Machines itself. Permissions are implemented, so you can use all the standard permissions nodes in your permissions plugin. Overall, you know, this is an alpha plugin, and I am loving it. The fact that I can do this on vanilla is just incredible. Massive credit to the plugin developer. So if you want to go download it and leave them a comment on there telling them how much you love it, or asking them any questions about features that are coming up in future, you can go and click on the link in the description, download the plugin yourself, go and leave a comment on there letting them know how much you love it. While you're doing all that, you may as well leave a like on this video, hit subscribe and hit the little notification bell as well so you never miss out on any more of these plugin showcases. That's it for now with Advanced Machines. Thanks very much for joining me. I'm going to go now and watch the auto farm do some work that I don't have to do. Thanks very much for watching. I'm that Dave Carter. Take care and I'll see you soon.